All right, what's up? What's up? What's up, YouTube? I'm pretty happy. We cashed. So the lineup was that we built on Saturday. It was okay. It could have done a lot better, but I mean, hey, we made some money off of it. Amon-Ra St. Brown saved our butts. He was the very last person we put on there in the flex position. He was killing it. I was cheering for him basically every single play he made. It was a ridiculous game if y'all watched that. I mean, it was really impressive. Um, Waller ended up being one of the best tight ends, so that was a good pick. The only place we really messed up at was Adams, the running backs. I mean, Gibson was like on the goal line a few times. If he went in the end zone one more time, he would have had a great game. I mean, he got the bare minimum of what we needed. Derek Carr, he got value for where he was at, where he was priced. But I mean, that Dolphins Ravens game, those quarterbacks are the ones we should have targeted. I don't know how I didn't see that one coming, but it is what it is. It's fantasy football. We made some money. I can't really complain. Another interesting win. The Cowboys won. Bengals did not look very impressive on defense whatsoever. I mean, Cooper Rush looked okay. He almost looked better than Dak. So I mean, that was a miscue. But I mean, look at it was 40% owned, 41% owned. I mean, what can you do there? The only other thing you could do is kind of just hope for something else. I mean, guess I should have been a little bit more contrarian, considering it's the Millie Maker and yeah, 41% owned. If yeah, I mean, let's look at the number one entry real quick, just out of curiosity. Jaguars. So yeah, he saved up a lot of money there, only $100 more, and got him 21 points. So yeah, this is the Millie Maker winner. Pretty stacked lineup there. Jeff Wilson was in it, and that was actually one of our picks. Faded Nick Chubb for some reason. I had Tyreek Hill. Let's just go ahead and take a look at our analysis from week 2. So it took me about 30 minutes this morning to kind of tally up all these point totals. I highlighted in green who got value and in red who did not. And then yellow was kind of like right on value. So Wentz did extremely well. First half was terrible. Second half was great. Fun game to watch. And then Curtis Samuel, Dotson, two guys I was big on. They both did exceedingly well. Terry McLaurin, kind of like I said earlier on, I was like, he's not my favorite, but he's in play. He did not perform well. Then we got DeAndre Swift. He did pretty good. Amon-Ra St. Brown, amazing. Great game, saved our day, essentially. DJ Chark, I was not super high on him either, but his output was like basically nothing. Unfortunately, he dropped a few like long bomb passes. Yeah, it just wasn't good. I mean, the other guy, Joshua Reynolds, was catching more passes. Anyway, on to Rams, Falcons. Yeah, the only two guys that didn't hit were Cordero Patterson and Daryl Henderson. Henderson wasn't that far off. I mean, at 10.7, that's not really that bad. All he really did was get a touchdown this game. But Stafford had a great game for the most part. Not as good as Tua or Lamar, but he had a good game. Cooper Kupp always performs. I mean, I just his price tag was a little too hefty for me this week. But I mean, if you were doing cash, you should have gone Cooper Kupp probably. Allen Robinson, I knew he was going to have somewhat of a comeback this week. Looks good. I mean, he's right on value, essentially. I mean, maybe a little bit lower. It should be at 16.1 fantasy points. Higbee, he was like my main tight end across the board, other than Waller, and he was much cheaper than Waller, so I'm glad I picked him. Mariota, I only had like one share of him. Yeah, and then the big mishap was Adams, Jacobs. Marquise Brown wasn't too terrible, but I mean, he didn't play as well as I thought he would. I thought the Raiders were going to win that game. I think the majority of people did. I mean, obviously, like the line was like 5.5. I said that was a little generous, considering the Cardinals got blown out first week. Moving on. Oh, Dortch. Dortch was a great pick. So I'm proud of myself for picking these. All my value plays were amazing, essentially, except for Alberto. Moving on to the Broncos game. What the hell, Russell Wilson? Come on, man. Cortland Sutton was the only person who outscored, essentially, in that game. I mean, Cooks did pretty terribly. There were a couple other guys that probably were good, but they were like no names. So Jerry Jeudy got injured. That sucks. Um, Javonte Williams, I don't know what they were doing, man. That's all I can say. I just don't know. Tyreek Hill, amazing, like best wide receiver on the week, I think. Jamar Chase, he was a dud. I don't know what happened to Joe Burrow. Don't know what happened to the Bengals during that game. Pretty shitty though. Christian Kirk, one of my big performers. He helped me cash in some double ups. So yeah, pretty great value there. I mean, 25.8 fantasy points, looking good, man. Michael Thomas, he had a pretty good game himself. That game was pretty funny. Mike Evans got ejected. Lattimore got ejected. Things got pretty heated. Michael Thomas looking good, though. He's not the Michael Thomas as of like 2017 or 2018 when he was like the best in the league. But yeah, he had a decent game. I didn't include the numbers here. It's kind of hard for me to like go through and pick up everything. I watched the game. Panthers looked fucking terrible. I mean, I'm a Panthers fan. Unfortunate. DJ Moore did okay. He had like a touchdown, 4 receptions, something like maybe like 13, 14 fantasy points. So not bad. Rashad Bateman, I think he has like 4 receptions for over 100 yards and a TD. So yeah, definitely return value there. Saquon, he did not perform as well as I wanted him to. I really don't think any of these running backs on the slate like did anything worthwhile other than Nick Chubb. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think all of these guys, they were just roughly pretty terrible. I mean, that's just how it was on running back this week. Yeah, pretty much all the big name guys did not do well. That's all I gotta say. Dalton Schultz got injured. It was like an ACL, something with his ACL, but he got an MRI negative, so that's good. He's probably gonna be good to go, but he'll probably have to take some time off. And then back to our values again. Duvernay did great. Noah Brown, I am very proud of myself for this one because I had like a whole like 2-minute, 3-minute tirade about Noah Brown. So very happy. He did well. 20 points for that price tag. That's great. I didn't really have that much exposure to him in my lineups for some reason, but I'm glad I included him in the last video. Richie James Jr. He caught a few passes. I mean, that's like bare minimum what he could do to get value. It was around 10 fantasy points. All right, so key takeaways. Faded Dolphins-Ravens game. Major mistake. I mean, the point total was pretty decent. I should have just paid a little bit more attention. Like, I should have thought of the explosiveness of Tyreek Hill. Should have thought of the explosiveness of Lamar Jackson. Yeah, just a game we shouldn't have faded. I mean, I didn't even like. I mean, the only guy I had was Tyreek Hill. But he did great if you decide to pick him up and put him in your lineup. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna really like be targeting Tua that much. But I guess like last year with the Ravens, their secondary was pretty shitty throughout the entire year. So I think that that trend is kind of like occurring again throughout this season. So maybe we'll target the Ravens secondary a little bit more in the weeks to come, just because I don't think they've made that many adjustments. If they're letting Tyreek Hill get past him, I mean, that's one thing. He's like the best wide receiver, fastest one. I mean, he's just a freak. But Jalen Waddle also had an amazing game. So it'll be interesting to see the Ravens secondary in future games. So maybe we'll target that, throw some stacks against them. So yeah, in the future. Overestimated Jets run defense. I mean, Nick Chubb didn't really do much against the Panthers first week. And honestly, the Panthers D was not really that impressive to me, so I thought the Jets were going to be able to contain him. That did not happen. Nick Chubb was one of the highest scoring running backs, if not the highest. I believe he actually probably was the highest. Underestimated Cardinals defense. I think they got like Chandler Downs back or something like that. And yeah, the Raiders like weren't that great to target, which sucks. I mean, if we would have like switched to Devontae Adams to and Derek Carr stacked it to and Tyreek, holy crap, man. I mean, we would have won some money there. But I didn't think of that, so it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, underestimated Texans defense as well, and overestimated abilities of Broncos offense. So, yeah, just from in the future, I mean, just duly noted. Yeah, Russell Wilson might not be the guy that we thought he was. Texans might be better than what they are. I don't know. We're going to have to see weeks to come, but it's going to make me a little bit more hesitant to target Broncos players just in general, but we'll see. Okay, moving on. I spent enough time talking about recapping week before. That was like 10 minutes. Let's look at Monday night tonight. So there's 2 games. The lineups were hard. They were hard to make. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I made 2. I'm not even really that excited about them. I mean, just because you can't fit in everybody that you want. You know what I mean? So let me show you these lineups real quick. Let's look at this one first. So yeah, it's hard to fit everybody in here. Like, it really, really is. Had to fade Stephon Diggs here, and I did not want to do that. Had to fade Derrick Henry, but I think this lineup. Oh, and I had to fade Josh Allen too, which sucks because he's probably going to be the highest scoring one for sure. But in order to get everybody to fit, I really just had to move some people around. So this is probably my lesser favorite of the lineups, but it has potential. It has potential. I mean, the Kirk Cousins stack with Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson went off for 42 points in week 1, and like Philly gave up a ton of passing yards to the Dolphins in week 1. So was it no Lions? Sorry, team colors. They're kind of similar. Anyway. Yeah, Justin Jefferson. I can't fade him. I mean, I can't like just skip out on him. I think you always got to stack essentially. So stacking him with Kirk Cousins because he's a little bit cheaper of an option. I mean, Tannehill. I just don't really see him doing much. Like, this is a tournament entry, so the upside potential for Tannehill is not really like super crazy. If he has a rushing touchdown or something, that would definitely increase his value, but he's only rushed 2 times. Like, he used to be a bigger rusher. Anyway, when it comes down to it, all right, Dalvin Cook, I mean, they're the 32nd ranked run defense right now. The Eagles are, so I think Cook's a good play. Not sure if it's a great idea to stack Cook and Jefferson, but we'll see how that works out. I think Kirk's going to be passing, checking the ball down. Cook had a lot of catches. He had 5 targets, 20 attempts. So he was on the threshold of breaking 100 rushing yards. Had like no touchdowns. So I think against this Eagles run defense, he's going to really eat this week. And then we got Zach Moss. So I needed a cheap running back. I mean, like, the only other cheaper running backs like in this range is like, who are you? I mean, like, I know who they are, but like, I'm not gonna play them. I mean, this I didn't really want to target Miles Sanders, Gainwell, Boston Scott. I mean, it's RBC, whatever, running back by committee, RBBCs with them. So yeah, I don't like picking like one guy and expecting them to go off. And Miles Sanders is a little bit too expensive for my liking. I mean, like, he should be a decent play. It just depends. You just never know who's going to get the ball. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I figured Zach Moss would be good. He had 6 targets and 6 receptions, 6 attempts. So I think he had like a goal line carry too. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, he's cheap, so if he gets the same amount of usage, 6 receptions and some more yards, and gets a TD, he'll be on point. Treyland Burke. So I'm high on this guy. I drafted him in like most of my fantasy leagues. He only got 5 targets week 1, but I think that he's going to be the guy. I mean, they traded AJ Brown down here basically 4 Treyland Burks, and AJ Brown is a beast. So I think they really have high hopes in this guy, Treyland Burks. I think he's gonna, as the weeks go on, he's gonna go off. And I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be this week or next week, but he's cheap. I mean, he's real cheap. So it'd be real cool to see Treyland Burks go out there and just tear up the Buffalo Bills secondary. I doubt it's gonna happen like super crazy amount, but you never know, man. I mean, he could get like a bunch of targets this game, and I mean, that Bills run D is tough. It's tough. So that's why I didn't really go for Henry. Yeah, I mean, like, they're ranked 4th right now. They're a good D. I mean, it's going to be tough. So they're going to have to pass the ball a little bit, I believe. All right, so this one's kind of important. Gabe Davis, he is trending to not play. It says he's more on the doubtful side of questionable, so that means he's probably not going to play. I mean, he sprained his ankle. If I sprained my ankle 2 days before playing a football game, I doubt I'd be playing, but I mean, that's just me. We'll see. We'll see how he does. Maybe he'll tape it up and play, but he's not going to be able to cut and run routes very well. So I am going with Isaiah McKenzie. He looked pretty damn good in that first game. He only got 3 targets, but he looked like the clear guy over Crowder. Yeah, I mean, he looked like he was running more routes. He was more involved in the offense. I think he even had a rush. No, he didn't have a rush. But he looked like the clear guy. I mean, he got a touchdown. We'll see. I think he's a good, cheap play. I think he'll step into that wide receiver 2 role now that Gabe Davis is gone. Tight end, no one here. Like, there's no one except for Goddard. So I figured, I mean, like, yeah, you could play one of these guys if you wanted, like Irv Smith. I thought he was going to be good at the beginning of the season. I think he got 2 targets. Sorry, I highlighted the whole page there. But yeah, I don't think that he's going to be that great this game just because, I mean, his usage was pretty pitiful. I guess they didn't have to pass much since they were up. But yeah, what does that say? 19 of 62 snaps. It's not very good. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how he does. He's not one of the guys that I want to put in my lineups. Anyway, let's just concentrate on Goddard. So Goddard had 4 targets, 3 catches, and 60 yards. So I think he's going to be much more involved in that offensive scheme more than any other tight end. So I have to grab him, which sucks because it would have been nice to grab like somebody like Irv Smith and then get the Bills D or something like that. But I mean, if he's going to give me a big fat 0, like I can't justify skimping like $1,500 like to pay for him, you know what I mean? So yep, I ended up just grabbing the Vikings D. I just skipped over AJ Brown. AJ Brown's like he's gonna be this target king again. I mean, I'm big in targets. It didn't really work out with Adams last week, but I think that he's going to be a good play for sure. I don't see how you could skip out on him at 7,000. I think he's one of the best values on the week. So Vikings had 12 fantasy points in that first matchup. I doubt they're going to be able to emulate that. I hope they can, but I mean that's pretty good. Interception, fumble recovery, 4 sacks, and only 7 points allowed. So if they can shut down the Eagles offense, that would be pretty sweet. It's kind of counterintuitive to be playing 2 Eagles players against them, but I mean, how many defenses are there? Am I going to start the Titans D against the Bills? Probably not. Am I going to start the Eagles D that didn't score many fantasy points against the Vikings? Probably not. So I think this is a pretty good lineup overall. It's pretty balanced. I mean, it has the potential to go off. I mean, high ceilings pretty much for every player, essentially. Yeah, I think we're good to go on this one. I mean, Zach Moss, like, his ceiling's not super, super high, but everybody else, like, I mean, they really could have some pretty great games. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about that one. And then let's look at this other one that I made real quick. I want to keep these videos a little bit more brief than I've been keeping them, but whatever. It is what it is. I just get distracted and I start talking about fantasy football, and I love fantasy football, so let's talk about fantasy football. All right. So Josh Allen, I mean, like, we gotta have Josh Allen. Like, I felt so bad picking Kirk Cousins in the other lineup just because it's like, what just happened? I just messed up. Here, wait. It like switched to my other lineup somehow. This is why doing live videos is like bleh sometimes, because it's like, all right, well, technical difficulties. And I don't know if it's just like the DraftKings website or if like my computer's just slow, but it is what it is. All right, let's look at this one. Okay, thank you. All right, so we got Allen, quarterback. Like, I mean, that speaks for itself. Like, he's a beast. He's going to run a lot. I mean, he just tore up. Crap, I can't even remember who they played. Who did they play? The Bucks? Rams. Yeah, they tore up the Rams. Like, pretty bad. The Rams have a good defense. Like, I mean, he just made them look silly. 3 more yards. 3 more passing yards, and he would have had an extra 3-point bonus. So I don't know. He's got crazy potential. Happy to put him in my lineup. Then we got some the same players. Dalvin Cook, already kind of. I'll just reiterate: 32nd ranked defense. Dalvin Cook looks good. I mean, Zach Moss in there again. I just think the receptions are going to be good. It's pretty low floor with those types of receptions. Stephon Diggs, I didn't have him in the other lineup just because I couldn't afford him, but I'm super, super high on him now. In the beginning of the season, I wasn't that high on him, but after watching him week 1, look good. I'm excited to watch him perform again. And then, like I said, A.J. Brown, one of the best values on the week. And then with Gabe Davis out, I'm going to go with Mckenzie again. And then we got Dallas Goddard. Because I just don't see any other tight ends as an option, and that might be crappy, but I'm only putting in 2 lineups this week, so we'll see how it works out. If Goddard's the best tight end on the week again, then we're gonna have the best tight end on the week. So that gives you a pretty big advantage. All right, and then Treyland Burks, I kind of said what I need to say about him already too. Yeah, Titans are big on Treyland Burks, so it's gonna happen sooner or later. He's gonna be the guy. It's just destined for him the way they set him up. So hopefully it's this week and we can score big off that. And then Eagles are not really the D that I wanted, but I could see Kirk Cousins throwing a pick. I could see something stupid happening and the Eagles getting a pick 6 or like a fumble for a touchdown or a blocked punt. It's impossible to fit the Bills D with all the other good players that I want. I don't see the value in most other players. Like if I were to take, let's say, okay, we need 800 off, and then let's try to change out AJ Brown for somebody. Like there's no one. The next guy down is Adam Thielen, and it's like okay, like Adam Thielen could have a good game. Like honestly, like I feel like he's probably gonna do better than the last game, but 5,300, and then so like if you think about it, like what's Thielen's cap, right? It's probably gonna be like maybe 15, 20 points. And then the Bills will be like 10 points on defense, so that's what 30 points combined. And then you got AJ Brown, where he's at 28 points already. From week 1, he's not there this game, but I see him probably being about the same. And then with the Eagles D, they could feasibly get up to like 5 to 10 points or something like that as well. So that combined would be in the 30s already. So it's all about ceiling for me, and I just think that like Thielen getting 15 points is probably like less likely than like AJ Brown going off for 30 again, because he's the guy. So anyway, that's my justification. Those are my 2 lineups. I hope that you guys will steal one of these, and whichever one of those works, and we both make some money. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm happy we cashed. Keep watching. Hopefully we can keep making some money. Have a good one. I'm excited for these games tonight. I will make another lineup for the Thursday slate here in a couple days. I'll probably do it either tomorrow or Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Have fun watching some football, baby.